Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for your patience. As you can tell by the screen in the background, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, so I appreciate you hanging in there. It's going to be a great webinar. Get us started. My name is Lorene Romero. I am the NACTA moderator, and I am here with you on your journey today. We have a very special guest. They're a new supplier, and I really hope that you support them in their journey and on Ireland. We have with us today Aisling Burns. She is the co-owner and manager of Journey Through Ireland. This is one of her first presentations, so be nice. I want you all to ask really good questions, and during the Q&A session, I'll be happy to read them for you. I want to do a little bit of housekeeping to get us started. First of all, sorry we're running a little bit late. This is being recorded. We will have it up on the NACTA website. If for some reason you have registered, but you have to leave a little bit early and you want to be able to watch this recording again, in the next 24 hours, you will receive a link that will take you to our NACTA YouTube account, and you will see the recording there. I always encourage everybody to just sign up to get them on a regular basis, just in case you miss a recording and you go, I really wanted to be able to see it again. It'll give you access. So for now, I've got everybody on mute. I'm going to put myself on mute so that there is no background sounds. That is going to cause distraction for our guest. And we, as I mentioned, have the co-owner and the manager, Aisling Burns. And Aisling, thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to work with you. I know you and I have already shared a lot of laughs in the background. So I'm that's the way it's supposed to go. Exactly. All right, I'm going to put myself on mute, and we're looking forward to going through your journey with you. All right, I will talk to you when you are ready at the end. Just call my name, and I will come back. Here you go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Lorene, for such a lovely introduction. As Lorene mentioned, my name is Aisling Burns, and I am the co-owner and manager of Journey Through Ireland. So as the slide says, we have created dream vacations to Ireland for over 35 years. So we are well established in the marketplace and have a lot of experience to hand. So I will continue with my slide, and I will thank you in advance for bearing with me. As Lorene said, this is my first presentation through a webinar, so I appreciate your patience, and I hope you can all understand my accent. So going ahead, my first slide is what we do. So what is Journey Through Ireland? So I've listed our services that we provide. The first thing that you would probably notice is we have this bespoke chauffeur-driven tours of Ireland and Scotland. We primarily tour Ireland, but due to demand in recent years, we've included Scotland as well. So we've expanded our services, which is a lot easier for a lot of travel agents, as many clients like to do Ireland and Scotland together when they are coming over that end of the world. So it leaves it a lot easier. So our chauffeur-driven tours, I will tell you briefly, as I have a couple of slides later to explain it, are bespoke. We have driver guides that bring your clients on tour, and we make the itinerary to suit their individual requirements, preferences, and tastes. So then our next service is a self-drive tour of either Ireland or Scotland or both combined. So that will be where we organise your client's car rental, we prepare their itinerary, book their accommodation, whatever it may be, whether it's bed and breakfast they prefer, hotels, castles and manors, we do all, and also we include their accommodations. So moving on, we also deal with group tours. So if you had a group of clients or a specific interest group, we customize the itinerary to suit what they may be looking for. So for example, some groups are foodie groups and they like certain aspects of that included in their tour. Others prefer golf, others prefer perhaps history or culture or scenery. So we can tailor each itinerary to suit what they are interested in. We also provide just car rental on its own. So if you have a client who is doing a trip themselves and are being independent, we can organize their car rental, and we deal with a couple of different suppliers, so we have excellent rates on that. And also escorted tours. If you have clients who wish to join a group tour, we deal with several providers, so we have something to suit everyone. And I will speak about that a little bit more later on. So why choose Journey Through Ireland? Why would you choose us over, say, one of our competitors? So first of all, it's Irish owned with an office in the USA and Ireland. So being Irish owned obviously is nice because we're doing tours of Ireland and we have an office based in Ireland. That's where our main office is. So we have easy access to suppliers, local information, local knowledge. All of that is a bonus. But also with having an office in the USA, it often gives comfort to clients to know that we have a presence there, which is nice. Then, as I mentioned, we have over 35 years experience in the touring industry. I have not been with the company 35 years, as I'm much too young for that, thankfully. But we're well established, and we have dealt with clients directly in previous years, and in more recent years, we're reaching out to travel agents. So NACTA is a fabulous way for us to do that, and we have had great success and experiences so far with. Then, of course, we are fully licensed and bonded. We have a luxury sister coach company, which is a great benefit to us. It is a high-end executive coach company which we use for our coaching needs. This has many advantages as we are not reliant on any third parties when we are booking our coaches and for our chauffeur-driven tours, and we have our preferred selection of drivers depending on what your client's interests are. We can hand select the drivers as we know them well and suit their individual requirements and their tastes. Then we have great reviews, as you can see from NACTA members that have already worked with us, TripAdvisor, and of course on our website, which is journeythroughireland.com. You can see our testimonials there. And another plus that we have, as I mentioned, is that we customize our itineraries to suit your client. So some companies will have set itineraries that you must adhere to, whereas we customize to suit their preference. And if you have a client who doesn't know what they want to do, you can just tell us that and we put together what we think will suit them, depending on whether they've been to Ireland before or not, or whether, as I mentioned, they have specific interests. So then what we offer is, again, detailed itinerary planning. So when you receive an itinerary, you'll receive a day-by-day planned itinerary for your clients. We have in-depth knowledge of Ireland. Obviously, our access to driver guides is very important as we have in-depth knowledge from them, and they are board Fáilte approved. So they are qualified and professional and excellent at what they do. And then, again, our luxury transportation fleet. So we have everything from luxury touring cars, pianos, coaches of all sizes. So anything up to 50 plus, anything bigger than that, we can do multiples. So that always works well. And this is just a quick synopsis. I won't spend too much time on it. And just to tell you a little bit about our services, our chauffeur-driven tours, obviously top of the range luxury fleet, so that your clients can travel in comfort and style, depending on what size of group they are and what they would like. Then we have the customized itinerary to suit their requirements, the choice of first-class accommodation, whether hotel, castle, manor, or bed and breakfast, or a mix of all. Some clients like to do a bed and breakfast, even if they're doing 5-star accommodations and castles. And then we have the services of the professional driver guide with inside knowledge of the hidden gems, which is an important one, as often when a client arrives in Ireland, at the booking stage, they don't always necessarily know what they want. So when they arrive in Ireland with a chauffeur-driven tour, it is a little bit flexible so that when the driver gets to know your client on a more personal basis, they start to realize and learn their personal tastes. So he can suggest things that may interest them in the local vicinity. So often we have clients have really unique experiences that are suggested by their driver guides that are taking place locally in the area. For example, I probably shouldn't even tell this story, but one group really wanted to have a unique experience that their friends who had been to Ireland couldn't possibly have had because they wanted bragging rights. So our driver guide ended up bringing them to a local cattle mart, which they thoroughly enjoyed, but was a very unusual choice. But they still talk about it and they still email us and send us pictures and really, really enjoyed the experience, and especially having bragging rights over their friends who definitely could not boast that they had been there. So that's always a plus. Then your clients travel at their preferred pace. So at their preferred start time and with the freedom to make unscheduled stops. which I think is important for clients who have booked. They don't want to be told that they need to start at 6 a.m. or that they have to rush past places that they would love to have stop at or have a look at. So that's important for the chauffeur-driven tours. They're luxury high-end tours, and we really put the client's needs first. Then the self-drive touring, we have recommended itineraries on our website, but again, many of the itineraries end up being customized even if they start with a recommended itinerary. So we adapt them to suit what they would like. As I mentioned, we work with a number of rental companies, so our car rental rates are very good, and a range of accommodations again. Then finally, we have an open bed and breakfast voucher scheme for the more adventurous traveller. That's where if your client doesn't necessarily know where they would like to go, we would often book their first night's accommodation so that they have somewhere to stay, and then the open B&B voucher scheme allows them to travel where they would like. They receive a booklet and they can book their own bed and breakfast as they wish in the area that they end up in that evening, and their voucher has already prepayment for them, so they don't need to worry about that. And all the bed and breakfasts are qualified to a certain standard. Then our escorted tour program, as I mentioned, we have relationships with a number of different providers. So we offer a range of tours, from intimate small group tours to inexpensive large group tours. So whether your clients are interested in high-end castle and manor tours or adventure pack tours, or if they're more budget conscious and prefer to join a larger group, then we have providers that specialize in that, and we can look after them that way. Then our golf program, so it's important to mention that we do book golf. I understand that some operators don't, so we can either do FIT golf vacations, whether you have a group, or whether they wish to do combined touring and golf vacation, which is very popular. So they just have a couple of days golfing thrown in, and at the likes of Ballybunion or places that they've heard of, and then the rest of their itinerary is touring. Also, we do corporate golf packages if you have corporate clients. Then the process is very simple. You just email us your client's requirements. We draft an itinerary to suit what they're looking for. Everything is included in the price, so all you have to do is send on the itinerary. And as the last point is very important, you have minimum effort and maximum benefit. So we'd like to leave it as easy as possible for the travel agents and leave the clients very happy with lots of referrals and recommendations for us both going forward. And just a couple of our reviews that I popped in. One NACTA member who has already worked with us in the past is Helen Pachillo from Promo Vacations. So just a couple of her comments were, I just want to thank you again for another fantastic trip for my Main Street Cafe group. They all came back raving about the tour and they absolutely loved their driver. Thank you again for such a great experience for my clients. Also, we have numerous reviews on TripAdvisor, which thankfully are all positive, showing our service and attention to detail, and also on our website, our testimonials and reviews can be seen there. So that is the end of the presentation on Journey Through Ireland and the brief synopsis of what we do and what we can do. So if anyone has any questions, or I can pass you back to Lorraine and she can maybe tell me a few questions.
Great, thank you. So what I want to know is, and I asked you at the very beginning when we first got, so I know a secret that the listeners don't know. I know that you're calling from Spain, and you're not actually in Ireland. Tell us why. See, I had to go and throw this in there just to tease you.
Lorraine, you weren't supposed to tell anyone this part. So I am on my annual vacation in Spain at the moment, but because my work never leaves me, I bring my full office setup, and I am very happily taking the webinar from Spain. So it was quite a lot of fun with the different time zones, but apart from that, it's very nice.
and thank you, because I also want to point out how dedicated that they are there. If she had made a commitment to do a webinar and then she ended up going on vacation, she could have called me and gone, you know, Lorene, I'm going to be on vacation, so this isn't a good time. Can we reschedule this? And mess both of our schedules up. But no, she said, you know what, let's do this. I'm staying on course. So I really just say that as a shout out to you, is your dedication and your commitment to travel agents and the training of them for your products.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And that is the core of our business. As you'll see from our reviews, a lot of our comments are about the level of service and the quality that we give to each client. So that is a big part of what we do and the individual and personalized service that we provide. So thank you.
You're welcome. It was worth all the tormenting and teasing of you to do that.
And I thought I had gotten away with it at the beginning, but no, you saved it for me.
Of course. And the fact that Helen, who is a well-known NACTA member, she's very involved. She is a chapter director in New York, so many of us know her. For you to have a testimonial from her, for someone like me, and also I know a lot of people that are on this recording are going to go, oh, wow, if Helen gives a good shout out to you, you must be a really good, dedicated, customer-oriented company. And I just want to be able to point that out, that if she's going to give you a shout out like that, then I hope that other NACTA members also contact you for booking information, any questions. I know one person on the call was asking if he can maybe email you just for a couple of your slides, because I'm not able to provide that to him. I told him he had to deal with you on that. So you may get somebody who is asking for some of your slides.
No problem.
Okay, so a couple of questions that I have in the chat box. Now, sometimes when I read them, they come out kind of cattywampus, so humor me as I'm trying to read out loud. This agent said, as a NACTA member supplier, do any of your local guides in the Ireland operate only for Journey, or are they also freelance? And what size is optimum for you to work with?
So the guides work with our sister coach company. So they work with those. So we have first-hand selection of our preferred drivers that might suit a specific group or their specific interests. Some guides are really interested in history. Some guides are more interested in the foodie groups, things like that. So we get I suppose, a head start on picking and selecting who we like to use for each group or client to suit what their interests are. And then we don't have an optimum number of what we can work with. We have, obviously, the coach company has vehicles and coaches to as many as we would need, so we can work with any amount in that respect.
Gotcha. One of the agents posted a little further down the list, but it kind of tied in with this. She says, what size vehicles do you have for a party of 15, and are the vehicles covered by insurance?
Yes, so for a group of 15, I usually go above what is required. So I would go with a larger coach so that they have additional comfort room, and just as if they're doing, say, a 7-day tour or whatever it may be, they like to have a little bit of room to maneuver, and they'll have their luggage and bags obviously stored underneath, but people end up bringing things on board. So I always advise just going with a little bit larger. So we have different size coaches from 23, 28, 30 seater, 32, and so on. So we have plenty of variety of coaches for that. And the coach company has its own insurance also.
Okay, very good. Next question, can you do an escorted or unescorted tour to the British Open? That to me sounds like a trick question. I don't know anything about golf, so I'm like British, Ireland. This is a trick question, right?
I think so. I think they know it's late where I am. They're trying to catch me out. But yeah, we usually, if there is any, we usually do Ireland and Scotland, and of course golf always pops in. I have a golf expert in the office, but we look to do anything that our clients require. And if there's something that we cannot do, we usually know somebody or have a partner that can do it. So the best thing is just to email me the details, and I can put something together for them. Gotcha.
Trust me, when that question came up, I went, uh-oh. British, Ireland, oh man. Are agents able to include air in their packages, or is that just going to be something that they will need to do on their own?
Yes, that's something that they would need to do on their own. We do ground transportation and everything once they land in the country, but the air they would do separately.
Okay. Well, hey, you did say you want to make everything easy. Trust me, we all know how hard air is, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone had a question about Shannon. It's not mentioned. Do you do tours there? Again, this is, Lorraine's geographically challenged, so it could be somewhere else.
Yes, I presume Shannon Airport is what they're referring to. So the tour can start wherever the clients prefer. We have some clients that get off ferries in Cork or wherever it may be, and we start a tour from there. And some clients prefer to fly in and out of Dublin, so we make their itinerary to suit that. And then other clients will fly into Shannon, out of Dublin, and so on. So whatever it is, we will customize it to suit what they need.
Okay, and do you have tours in Northern Ireland, the Belfast area?
Yes, absolutely. So some clients will want to do all of Ireland, some clients prefer to focus on Southern Ireland for their first trip, and others who will do Northern Ireland on its own. So again, whatever they prefer is what we will draft and what we will put together for them. But Northern Ireland is very popular, especially with the Titanic Belfast opening in the last few years. That's been very popular, and of course Game of Thrones, a lot of the filming has happened in Northern Ireland, and also the Giant Causeway, the Newcastle, Bushmills Distillery, all of that. So there's a tremendous amount to do in Northern Ireland. So absolutely, we do a lot of tours there.
Okay. Excellent. And one of the agents on the call, and I'm going to recommend that she call you, she's planning a itinerary for a photography group for next September and October, and interested in the Causeway Coastal Route and Wild Atlantic Way.
Yes. That's both of those routes. They have been identified by Tourism Ireland. So they're, the scenery there is second to none, and fantastic area to travel, especially for a photography group. So if she emails me, I can let her know all the information about that and how many days they have, and I'll give my recommendations on how much they can fit in the space of time that they have without feeling rushed. So if she just pops me an email, info@journeythroughireland.com is the email address. And also, just to point out, at some times you might see the website as journeythroughireland.com or irelandtouring.com. So we have both domain names, so either or works, and the same for the email address. Sometimes if you prefer info@irelandtouring.com or info@journeythroughireland.com, both work.
Perfect. When you provide a quote, generally speaking, how long is the price valid? See, they ask good questions. I like this. This group is on it.
They really do. They absolutely do. So the quote is depending on whether it's a group quote or whether it's FIC. So it's valid for 14 days. And then when they have confirmed, if they can come back within 14 days, that's fine. Or if it's outside that, I will always recheck pricing and reissue the quote. So depending on whether it's FICs or groups.
David asks, are there any provisions for those with special needs? He has a client who has a daughter that needs to be in a wheelchair.
Yes. I actually booked one tour today with a lady in a similar situation. So once you let me know in advance, I make sure the vehicle is adapted, and also the accommodations that we select. We would bear that in mind as well. And then the attractions that we would select or activities, we bear that in mind when we put together the itinerary. And that's why a customized itinerary really is a benefit in scenarios like that. So there's nothing that the client might feel that they can't partake in or that they can't do. So everything is adapted to suit them and their needs.
Now, one of the questions that I have, and this comes up from when I work with clients who the husband, no offense to the men on the call, the husband's always, no, honey, we're going to do a self-drive. We're going to do this all on our own. And when I remind the wife that, so does he understand it's the other side of the road than what we're used to?
Yes.
And that she will be spending her entire time holding a map going, honey, no, the other way, the other way, the other way. My long drawn out question is, how popular are the self-drive and the hotel voucher packages? And are they really something you would recommend for somebody it's their first time to Ireland, or would you recommend kind of doing an organized escorted group?
Well, believe it or not, the self-drive tours are extremely popular. So I don't know whether it's a thing that the husbands are getting their way or not, but they are extremely popular, and they are a lovely way to see it because they're for those that wish to be a little bit more independent. So if you're on an escorted tour, and what I mean by that is joining a group tour, you're on a fixed schedule. So you have to start at a certain time, you go to the places that are scheduled for you. So with a self-drive, you can stop off where you like, and there's some beautiful scenery around Ireland. So if you see somewhere on the way and you fancy pulling over, and some people take picnics with them that the hotel organises and things like that. So, or else you just see a lovely pub along the side of the road, which does happen in Ireland, believe it or not, and you just want to stop in and have lunch, and things like that. A self-drive is fantastic for that. And what I always recommend with, if they haven't driven on the other side of the road before, I would recommend that they book an automatic car, and a smaller car is best because some of our roads can be narrow, so that really does help if they book a smaller car, and also just for getting the hang of it and manoeuvring it works out much easier. But I wouldn't worry about driving on the other side of the road, because even now, as I'm in Spain, I'm driving on my other side of the road, and you adapt really quickly. So it's amazing how quickly you will. And I have clients that are 75 years of age that come and drive here. So I always figure if they can do it and not have a problem, I'm sure the rest of us can do it. So I would recommend self-drive. If they're the more adventurous type, if for the first time they're a little bit more worried and would like an escorted or a chauffeur-driven tour. A chauffeur-driven tour is obviously the optimum tour and the best choice that you can go with. But with that comes a price tag. So because you have a dedicated driver guide who not only guides you, but more or less chaperones you and make sure you get checked into your hotel okay, and make sure you go into your attractions okay, and that kind of thing. So it's a little bit more of a VIP service. And so for that, it's an excellent way. But for those that are more independent, a self-drive is a great option.
Perfect. Now, see, wasn't this easy? See, we did this. You can go,
yes.
It's not my maiden voyage anymore. Everybody's still on the call. This has been wonderful.
Much less daunting than I was expecting. So I think it's because of the nice audience, and they didn't ask any too difficult questions, so that was really nice.
Exactly. It's a good, I can see all the names in the background, and it's a good group of people, and the people who ask the questions are always appropriate questions, which is nice. And I want to thank you for being a new NACTA member. You're one of our newer suppliers.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
And this is absolutely wonderful, and I hope we do this again. And please, everybody on the call, support the suppliers that support us. As she mentioned, Helen gave a good shout out. Now, in my book, if Helen gives a shout out, that's really saying something. So it's always good to support kind of the little guy. You know, we, like you said, you've been around for 30 years and you're way too young to have been involved from the entire time. But to be able to help that, because you're going to be able to customize things. So you're going to be able to give everybody the hands-on support that we really want as a travel agent, because, you know, our clients are VIP people. If we really wanted to book them in a big group that's faceless, you know, that's, we don't do
Absolutely.
that.
Yes, and I find that clients love to have a unique experience. So I think that's something that we always try to provide, because they want to have done something that maybe not everyone else has done, or been off the beaten track a little bit. So we really try hard to make that happen for them. So it's a good way.
And the last question I have, and then we will sign off, and you can go and enjoy the rest of your evening. In Spain, have some tapas for me, please.
I will do.
Now, when they're being charged, are they charged in U.S. funds, or what funds are they charged?
In U.S. dollars. So it's much easier for them. And that's hitting back to my point earlier, that we have a base in the U.S. as well, or a presence. So we charge in U.S. dollars. So it eliminates all the worry or everything about exchange rates and that kind of thing. So it's in U.S. dollars. It's charged.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really hope, I know this is wishful thinking, but that you might be able to fold your vacation plans to come to our NACTA conference, which is actually, wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
I'm going to do two quick announcements before we sign off, and one of them really does tie into the NACTA conference, which is, oh my God, it's just around the corner. I can't believe it's like going to be here so soon. As a reminder for everybody on the call, the NACTA conference for this year is going to be in Fort Lauderdale, November 3rd to 9th. So the first 3 nights are going to be at the Westin in Fort Lauderdale, and then the last 3 nights are going to be on a celebrity cruise to the Bahamas. See why I was asking if you could be there with us, because it's going to be a little bit different. But Aisling, for next year, maybe you can mark it on your calendar, because I'm sure it's on everybody's bucket list. The NACTA conference for 2017 is going to be September 13th through 16th. It's going to be in Anchorage, Alaska. It's going to be fall, early fall, all the little crazy tours. I mean, our clients are going to be gone by then. They will have gone back home. It's a beautiful time of year to be in Anchorage, and wouldn't that be totally awesome if you could be there to join us?
That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. It'd be nice to meet all the people that I speak with. So for sure, that would be, I'll have to schedule it into the diary.
There you go. There, see, I'm subtle, right? I'm as subtle as a brick. Yes. Oh, here, plant the seed for next year.
I like it. Soon you'll have me thinking it was my idea.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I planned this in advance. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being on the call with us. And like I said, we apologize for a little technical difficulty. We both had problems calling in and getting set up, but I know you guys are patient, and this is well worth the wait. I will have this webinar posted to the NACTA YouTube account. Within the next 24 hours, you will receive a link. And Aisling, I'll make sure to send you the link so that way you can also have it for your reference. So, any last minute words before we sign off?
I just wanted to thank everyone for being so patient and staying on the webinar with us, and thank you as well, Lorraine, for all your assistance and being so making everything seem so easy and having it run smoothly. So it's great to be a member, and I'm really enjoying dealing with all the members so far. So thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you, agents. Go off to work. Enjoy the rest of your week. And Aisling, thank you again. And I have a feeling that we will meet face to face one day.
Please God, hopefully we will, for sure.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Take Take care. Thanks again. Bye-bye.